What's up, Bitcoin land? Hope all is well for you today. I never know how I'm going to start these intros until the words come out of my mouth. I wanted to say something about the cryptoverse. What's up, crypto nuts? I hope the sailing is smooth in the cryptoverse for you today. Okay, I started making videos a month ago. Came back in for the new people. I always try to talk to the new people. Brand new people to my videos. I've been in this market since October 2020. And just recently, I started making videos again frequently last month. And that was because this is the daily chart. That was because we came to it's kind of, I got a bunch of patterns drawn in here. I'm going to go down in the hour and show you what's going on. But that's because last month I saw us come up here on the far right on this chart. Bitcoin came up and tested the old all-time highs and actually broke through it, where we've basically since then we've been downtrending underneath the previous all-time high at about 69,000 or so. But you can see, right, this is what got me excited, and I instantly thought, oh, we're right here in the cycle, on the far right here. This is where we're at, basically comparing it to last cycle. Testing the all-time high previous, see here at 19,000, just call it 20,000 from the last cycle. We came up here. This is right where I got into Bitcoin. This is October 2020. We see my cursor, this little consolidation. It actually lasted about a month. And I just assumed that because we're testing all-time highs and consolidating, I just assumed that we were here and we're getting ready for the big parabolic push. But I do believe I made a small mistake. Now, it's not a bad mistake, and it's actually a good mistake, because I'm going to show you where I think we really are. What's happened here, right? We came out of the last cycle into this bear market, and the last cycle, time-wise, was a lot longer than this cycle before here. See this, right? Just left to right time. So the bear market didn't last as long, right? We came out of the 2017 cycle, came out into the bear market. See this? This is the bear market, and it started pumping up. Right? Last cycle, 2021, 2020, 2022, whatever you want to call it, longer. Anyways, came down into the bear market. See, started pumping up. And I've always kind of had a gut feeling, and I was watching the last 20 through 2023. Years ago, I made videos saying sometime in the summer of 2023, there'll probably be a secondary pump, right? And I think that's where we're at right now, is right here. It just came up further. This came up to about 14,000, the previous all-time high. Didn't quite get to it, but see that there's, it's like a recovery, and then no, it's not. Now this is COVID, where I got my cursor. This valley here is COVID. So I would say just take that out, and this probably just goes basically straight sideways through here. So take that pothole out of the road right there. That's COVID. Unless we have a black swan, I don't think that would happen. And so, long story short, it came up to about 14,000. This is about 7,000. We're not counting to COVID. About 7,000, and it came back up to about 10 or 11. And then here, it was 18, 19, 20,000. It stalled out at the old all-time high. I think this is where we're at now. It's just this came up. Now watch my cursor. I don't have this on a chart where I can chart it, unfortunately. Well, I do, but I'm already making a video, so let's just roll with this, what I got going. It comes up out of the bear market, right? This pump. And basically what happened this cycle is, I think what happened is this went a lot longer to the right, right? Everyone's saying we're too early this sketch. Actually, we might be a lot later. Right? Even myself, I was saying that we're a lot earlier this cycle. This cycle's happening a lot earlier. This cycle might actually be happening a lot later. Okay, because here is where my cursor is. Say this is the cycle we're in now. This is March was COVID. April, May, last cycle to May was having April. So in this cycle, we'd be about June, would be about right here. So I think what's happened is, see my cursor? This is where we're at. If you wanted to compare it leading into the last cycle, this pump to 14,000 that came out of 7, I think this time around has just came up and tested all-time high instead of only going 2/3 of the way up. So I think technically we're about right here where my cursor is. If you compare it to last cycle, now it's not a good idea to compare, but I do think this is worth talking about because I think this is what's happened. We're actually in this pump way before the parabolic push. Now we have kind of went parabolic, and we are parabolic now, but I think see this downtrend. This is a downtrend from here. That's basically what we're doing now. It's a downtrend, dumping slowly over time. And we are under the old previous all-time high. And so if that's the case, this came up here, right? Broke the all-time high, basically has been rejected. And in this time scale, we're basically right here, right now, where my cursor's at, if you wanted to go compare it to previous cycles. Now, that's, you say, well, that's a bad thing because, well, we're going down. You know, it's just clearly in a downtrend going down. We'll get to that. It's good that it consolidates and goes down. And we'll go to the chart here in a second. But I don't think we're here, right? And I see the channels I still watch on YouTube. Basically, we've all been saying we're here, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I think it just mimicked it. I think we're actually on this pre cycle pump, right? This one here. It just came up further and took longer, and so I think we're right in here and coming down. And the good news is, it should just be a matter of a few months before we are actually in here. I mean, this is basically where we're at. I just think it came off this previous action here, and we're slowly coming down to this ballpark, right? We're basically right here and slowly coming down towards this area. And that's the good news, because this is going to happen, because this is post-halving, right? The last halving was here in May of 2020, and this one's happening April 2024, 3 years, 11 months later. So May to the big push started in, say, September. So bring it forward a month, that would be August. Bring it forward another month because of the hype in July. So I'm going to alter my long-term look at this just a little bit. And it's actually probably better for the higher prices and longer bull run, because I don't know if we're even quite to the crazy part yet. So August, July. I'm saying late June, July, summertime, early summer is probably where we get to here, right? I don't think we're here yet, which is interesting, which is real interesting. All right, that's enough for that. I do think that's the mistake that I've made, and it's a good mistake to make. It's not going to really hurt anything. And anyways, okay, let's go to the chart. Okay, there's a daily. Let's go to an hourly, because I got a lot of patterns on here I don't want to erase right now. And okay, my last couple videos worked out really well. If you've been watching my last video, if you're new to my channel, go to my homepage and watch my last two videos if you want. I was talking about breaking out this yellow triangle, ascending triangle up. There's also another trend line on the bottom here, which is a yellow wedge. This guy here, that's more of a wedge. They're basically similar structures. We also got this red parallel channel ascending. So anytime I see a bunch of big ascending patterns that can be seen on the daily chart, now this is the hourly chart, but they almost always tend to break the way they're supposed to break. And my last video, I talked about what happened if it did break up out of the top, because that was a possibility. But I did talk about, mainly, this could have been a breakout. I made the video right here. It's probably a breakout of the triangle with the retest. And right after I made the video, just boom, came crashing down. And I was saying this parallel channel, the red one up here, if it broke down, it's got about $2,000 target. And I was like, I haven't seen a lot of accuracy with these target channels, or these channel targets. And what happened, right? $2,000 target. What happened? It broke down from 65,400 and went to 62,800. So actually, that wick is a lot further than I thought. I thought it stopped. I was sleeping when that wick happened. So that's over 2,000. Let's see. Never mind. Got ahead of myself. 65.4. 62.4 would be 3,000. That's 20 $2,600. Take out that wick, and that's what I was gonna say. Without that wick, it's $2,000, almost to the dot. And I said, watch it come down about $2,000 and a wick down to the blue line, and then pump back up, and there it is. There it is. You know, and I didn't say this is going to happen for sure, but that was basically my exact analysis. If it broke down out of the bottom, that's basically it right there. A couple $100 further down, I thought. And now where we're at now, just what people want to know, what's happening now. It's came back up, and I have these two white horizontal lines here where it's just got rejected. See this big long wick on top? Look at that. Lots of buying pressure came in. It's 64,800 to 65,300. Basically, the $65,000 level is what those two horizontal white lines are. And how I mark those is I just look back to the left through here on the hourly chart, and I didn't just put those there because I wanted to put them there. I looked back through here and I looked at all the wicks and candle bodies where there was a lot of interaction, and that's why I drew those two white lines. It goes back further to the left as well. And look at that, right? The initial dump came down, tried to come back up, got rejected, came down to the dotted blue line, came back up, and it's clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hourly candles in a row, rejecting. So this indicates to me that this is probably in the near term today. It's probably going to come back down and test this dotted blue line again, or it busts through here, and this red ascending channel will now probably be resistance. And this is it about for the next 24 hours. You can call it $66,000 to $66,200 in that ballpark. Now I suggest if you want, get you a chart and draw in all my patterns I have here, because I can't really predict when to enter and get out of trades with this, but this, as you can see, is extremely effective. And so if it does pump up, I would say 66,000 today is going to be resistance. And then if it came through there, this dotted blue line and this red ascending channel, and then this green line is the top of that big green descending channel, the big bull flag on the daily chart, the one going down. That's going to be strong resistance through here. Will be probably ultra strong resistance for the short term. See that dotted blue line going up, and then the green line going down. And then this is also a resistance area. So you can see what I'm talking about. Basically, any lines I have drawn in there on those as resistance. It's just really remarkable to me how this works so well. I'm just drawing these little patterns, and that's why I leave them here, because they come back into play, right? Even this yellow line support on the triangle and the wedge could be resistance in the near term. I don't think it's going to pump up that quick, but definitely this red that was support on the channel is definitely a resistance line to watch now. It's looking like a pretty harsh rejection right now. Now that story could change after I make the video, but it does look like it's probably coming down. And what you want to watch for is it going to set a new low. This green wick here was 62,733. I have these white horizontal lines in here. I talked about those last video. That wick kind of came down to that area. It's kind of in between the dotted blue line and the first white line. These also, going back to the left, I'm just marking the previous death wick dumps. That first one is here, 62,500. The next one down here, 60,800. Next one down here, 59,800 ballpark. And then the bottom one is basically, call it 59,000. And then we've got the bottom of the green descending channel. And I'm telling you this for a reason, because I do think this could dump down quite a bit further. And I know people don't want to hear that. Based on how I started the video, where I think we're really at in the cycle, we're not early. We're kind of late. That 2019 pump from the previous cycle, if you compare it, this cycle should have happened, 2023 summer. It seemed to have just keep going and going and going up to the right at a steady pace. And I think we're just naturally seeing They come back down from there, and I think we've got a couple months before the insanity ensues. So that's the good news, right? This is you may not like it now, but this could get real kooky in a couple months, particularly if Bitcoin is allowed to come down. If my analysis is looking right, I do think it's probably coming back down. Is 60,000. I don't know when. Maybe it comes up here and test the top again. Maybe there's even a fakey fake. I don't know. But I do think this is a healthy situation for Bitcoin, right? If it does this for a couple months, I think it's probably going to be wonderful, because when we get out here to July, whammy, right? That's what we're probably looking at. Now, as soon as I make this video, right, we'll probably get a breakout off the top and all. I'm like stupid, but I think that's probably more where we're at, and that's actually good. You can see I'm in a short and a long, and I'll make a video talking about that. You have to be experienced and know how to handle and be able to stomach going underwater. But I'm in a short and a long right now, and you can see this big green. See all these green lines down here? I'm actually protecting my liquidation on my long. But my little system here is forcing me. What it's forcing me to do now is to buy super low and sell super high. So it's actually kind of by default it's turned into just a wonderful system, and I'll get into that. But that's where I'm buying to protect my long. I don't necessarily have that box set up there because I think it's coming down to 53 to 50,000. But that's a good area, because these bottom two white lines would be the next range down below, which is probably going to be a real good support. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. I would not be surprised if there is a dump and a wick down to 53,000 or lower. I would not be surprised, folks. And that's actually a good thing. Do not panic. I just want you to be able to protect yourself if you're stuck in a long. Lots of people don't know you can actually change your leverage. Like if you're in a 5x long or whatever and you're stuck, you can put more money in and you can reduce that leverage. You can go down to like 2, 3x, and it'll drop your liquidation way down. So the one danger I have real quick on my trade is that a death dump comes with a death wick that goes down to 46,000, just real rapid, boom. That is the one thing that I'm guarding against, right? And I'm continually putting more little longs in here to protect that. I think I'm safe if that happened. I think my position would get pushed down far enough, and I can always change. Like I said, I can change as long as I have time. As long as I have PTSD from the last cycle. I had the big $40,000 in your face in a matter of hours, or 40% dumps in your face in a matter of hours. Take that. Right. So we're not seeing that, but that could still happen. So that's what I'm guarding against there. I don't want to freak people out seeing my buy box down to 50,000. And then of course up here I don't have my sell box in right now because I think we're in a dumpy stage. You got my analysis. It could still pump up from here. This green top of the channel in the next 24 hours is 67,000. Interestingly enough, well, 67,500. Over the next 24 to 48 hours is 67,000. Bottom of the red is 66,000, and we're having trouble, as I said earlier. And I need to end this video before I start repeating the same thing, but that's it right there. That looks like a pretty good rejection, and Bitcoin is basically on its way down in price discovery. What to watch for the rest of the day? Does Bitcoin set a new low from this current little dump we're on right now at 62,744? And then this white line here, 62,500. That's probably a good number to watch. If Bitcoin comes below 62,500, and it's not just a little wick, if the candle body on the hourly and higher time frame stays down there for a little while, that's probably an indication that it's coming even lower. But if I had to guess right now, I would say this is coming down to at least 63,000 here throughout the rest of today, tonight, and tomorrow morning. And you can see it. You can see it. I think I wrapped up what happens if it goes up, what happens if it goes down. And it's healthy. It's healthy. I think the longer it stays in this, let's go back to the daily. I don't like showing this because I got all those patterns. Those patterns get all condensed and you can't really see what's going on. But this descending green channel going down is basically a bull flag that I called out back here in March, and I see all the popular channels I still watch are just now talking about there's a bull flag forming. I've just been watching these channels. It's kind of my specialty, these parallel channels, not the YouTube channels. I watch them a little too. But I've been watching these parallel channels for years now, and I could just see it coming before it was technically formed, right? Which is not a good idea to go doing, but I could just see it. Right? It's there. So I would not be surprised if there is a big third data well, now there's a parallel channel formed because it comes down here, and right, and now it's there, right? So watch out for that, and that, in the next this is the daily chart. So the next week or two, that's 54,000 dotted blue lines, 56,000 and down. So you can see what I'm saying. So there it is. I do think it's extremely healthy. Even if it comes down here, this is healthy. This is the longer it does this is going to lead to a bigger real cycle move. And a lot of channels might not be saying that. We might not even be there yet. We might not be early. Let's wrap it up. We might not be early this cycle. We might be late this cycle, right? Based on how I started the video, think about that. We could be late, right? We could be way late, which would indicate a much longer, bigger cycle to come in our future. All right, I'm out of here. Have a good day.